people ask me, because I'm a comedian, they always say, is that a tough job to be a comedian? And I don't think it is. I compare it to things I used to do. I used to work part-time as a wrapper in a department store.
Everybody who has a TV in this modern age, at least for people in the West and majority of the East, knows who Ellen DeGeneres is. As someone who stayed in the public eye for a very, very long time already, Ellen practically became one of the biggest but most reluctant icons of the LGBT community, especially in the entertainment industry. She's rich, certainly talented, and can pull her own strings whenever she wants to. But did you know that this did not come easily for Ellen? Ellen's story might shock you, but hosting did not come naturally to the famous celebrity. To understand this, we must first take a look at Ellen's early years to find out exactly how she came to be, because something is off. But first, a simple reminder on how to enter our brand new giveaway. We are giving away either an iPhone X Max, the new iPad mini, or MacBook Pro. It's all your choice. So be sure to leave a like, comment the keyword, subscribe, and turn on notifications to enter the giveaway. It's really that simple. Ellen Lee DeGeneres is a native of Metairie, Louisiana. Her parents were Elizabeth Jane, a speech therapist, and Elliot DeGeneres, an insurance agent. Her only connection to the entertainment industry was her brother Vance, who became a musician and producer. Her parents raised young Ellen as a Christian Scientist, a religion that believes that any sickness can be healed with prayer. You could say she came from a very conservative family. However, at the age of 15, Ellen's mother and father separated and got a divorce a year later. This caused a separation between Ellen and Vance, with Ellen staying with her mother and stepfather while Vance remained with his dad. But during Ellen's stay with her stepfather, Roy Grusendorf, in Atlanta, Texas, something gruesome happened to the young girl. Poor Ellen was actually abused by her stepfather several times when she was a teen. She first opened up about this information in 2005, which was a few years after she came out as a lesbian. DeGeneres said that her stepfather groped her several times just to check for lumps after her mother got breast cancer. The evil man convinced her that it was a necessary step for possible early diagnosis. And then it happened again and again and again. But that was not the end of it. One time, Ellen had to flee her house via a broken window because Grusendorf was trying to knock down the door to her room. We don't really know how things turned out, but despite all these challenges, Ellen was able to graduate high school and move back to New Orleans. At first, Ellen wanted to be a veterinarian, but she ended up studying communications at the University of New Orleans. Eventually, she decided to give up on her studies and go straight to work. She did quite a bit of clerical work for her cousin at a law firm. Ellen also worked at TGI Fridays as a waitress, sold vacuums, and was employed at a JCPenney. Imagine having Ellen at your beck and call while shopping at JCPenney. What an experience. Anyway, now remember Vance, Ellen's brother? You might know that he also became an actor/comedian who went on to be part of The Daily Show. Everyone from their family thought that Vance was the only one with a funny bone, but they were dead wrong. Once, during a speaking engagement, Ellen found herself frightened to her core and unable to speak. Instead of crying, quitting, or letting herself get humiliated in front of a bunch of strangers, she began using humor to get through the entire ordeal, and the audience loved her. She became a hit and instantly received several offers to perform stand-up comedy. Ellen has taken comedy seriously since 1981 at the behest of her loving mother. 4 years after starting her career as a local entertainer, she got a big break in 1982 when one of her comedy routines got taped, featured, and won Showtime's Funniest Person in America award. This opened up more and more opportunities for the promising talent. A year later, Ellen got her acting debut from Jay Leno, which propelled her career into Hollywood. DeGeneres went on The Tonight Show and immediately earned the distinction of being the first and only female comedian ever to be invited by Johnny Carson to sit on the famed couch during her visit. Ellen then made rounds on every talk show like The Late Show with David Letterman, later with Greg Kinnear, Larry King Live, and of course, The Oprah Winfrey Show. Ellen has starred in short films and documentaries since 1990. She got her TV acting debut a year earlier though, as Margot Van Meter in The Duet. She was also allowed to reprise her role for Open House for an entire year. Ellen even got her first self-titled television series made to showcase her exceptional comedic timing. DeGeneres really had a good thing going, and it seemed like it was bound to last. But of course, something did change, and we're all too familiar with that. In 1997, DeGeneres went back to Oprah Winfrey's show and came out as a lesbian. Ellen Morgan, the TV series character she was portraying on her show, also came out alongside her. This confession made her the first ever sitcom lead to openly confirm her homosexuality. The controversy broke her career and eventually broke her spirit. Ellen lost virtually everything and stopped all kinds of progress she was making for her career. Nobody in the entertainment industry wanted her. She became the butt of all the jokes that she previously threw with ease. Ellen became an outcast. But Ellen was extremely lucky that mainstream media and comedy welcomed her with open arms as the world became more and more accepting of LGBT representation in popular culture, which is why many people felt off that she seemed to have forgotten where she came from and everything she used to represent, and now has become exactly what she used to stand up against. While the ever-famous motto of her talk show is, "Be nice," a lot of people have first-hand accounts that prove Ellen is not as nice as she wants her audiences to believe. The accounts are pretty consistent and highly reliable too, since all of them come from people who worked for Ellen or served her in one way or another. Most of these stories center around one central theme. The daytime media queen was unbelievably cruel. Rumors have started swirling around Ellen's supposed meanness for years, but some of them have been dismissed as part of a smear campaign because, well, the woman seems so nice and philanthropic on TV. But the global health situation and the unique working conditions the campaign brought to the table seem to have exposed the ugly truth about what it was like to be working for DeGeneres. One of her former employees revealed that interns on The Ellen Show were not allowed to make eye contact with the host and were not allowed to talk to her unless she spoke to them first. She's also been accused of never even bothering to learn the names of people who work in the production of her show. Whenever she wants something done, she simply refers to people as "hey" or "you," as in, "hey, you, I need this and that and I need it now." A security agent who was hired by Ellen to accompany her and Portia for an awards night claimed that the famous show host didn't address him the entire night, not even once. Yep, not even to thank him for his service when the event was over. Another employee who used to be employed as a production assistant for Ellen also claimed that the media personality once berated her in front of dozens of people because Ellen didn't like the way she smelled. She was allegedly sent home and was told to shower. Naturally, the production assistant packed her bags and never returned. But none of these outrageous incidents could come close to what Ellen workers experienced at the onset of the global health situation. Like most other workers in the world, Ellen employees braced themselves for shorter hours and smaller paychecks because of health-related restrictions. At least Ellen moved to a broadcast from home setup, right? At least members of her crew wouldn't be out of work in the middle of the most threatening economic and health situation in recent memory, right? Wrong! Apparently, when Ellen moved to a more lockdown-friendly format, she didn't prioritize having her regular, unionized staff on board, even though they're literally the ones who are best equipped and skilled to run her home broadcasts. Instead, Ellen's team decided to hire from outside, forcing their own talent to suffer pay cuts of up to 60%. All this while small business owners were coming out of pocket just to support their most vulnerable workers and making sure everyone's paid despite the fact that there wasn't a lot of business coming in. It's almost like Ellen has forgotten the time she didn't have much and was working double shifts at TGI Fridays and JCPenney. Need more proof? Well, what about that highly insensitive comedy skit she did from her multi-billion-dollar Santa Barbara home just a few weeks back? Remember when she said being self-isolated was like being in jail because she'd been wearing the same clothes for weeks and everyone around her was gay? Now, anyone who had ever seen American prisons and how inmates are packed inside like sardines would find Ellen's remarks outlandishly out of touch because if jail was anything like staying in her California mansion, well, best believe everyone would simply want to be incarcerated. Add this to the fact that earlier this year, Ellen already went under fire for being all chummy with George W. Bush, a known advocate against gay rights and a cheerleader for the Iraq War. It felt like betrayal to those who had always looked up to Ellen as a liberal and LGBT icon, but all she could offer in defense was that political opposites should be able to reach out across the table for friendship. Guess Ellen wasn't kidding when she said she no longer cares whether people liked her or not. Anyway, that wraps up the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.